we have Dr. Vito, a long-time friend of us, and very inspiring figure. He inspired us in many ways. He's the Sheldon Vito. He's a nuclear physicist. The role that Liberia has. Not only nuclear physicist, but he's an experimental nuclear physicist. He studied under with Schroeder, won the Nobel Prize for physics. So we have a good talent pool here. Dr. Vito, please, when you help us again, and inspire us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the head of the center and Mr. Edward. We'll be drumming here, drumming there. Yes. So again, now it's not all in 10 minutes.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But reflecting back, you know, when I came, the first time the picture was not here. We have this artistic work. And it reminds me of all for this village of this time. During my time, my parents, myself, we have this kind of thing, sleeping on the mat, on the ground. But thanks to the economic policy of the late President Togba, they had one of the policies from mat to mattress, was an economic policy, which we have this training in order to be able to purchase a mattress. And I'm a beneficiary of that particular policy because literally before the 1980 coup, my parents myself, we had left on the mat, and then we had box spring in the mattress. So that's a little different. It made that matter for us. So maybe I don't know how much is the full is making on us today, but those are economic policies of government. Education-wise, we traveled quite a long distance from our born in Winfield town, Bone County. Outside the road going to Lofa. And we had another school there, and we found ourselves to the Buffet High School. And see our high school then. And we got to again we had to be thankful to the government because before I graduated from Togba High School, the University of Liberia was not just accessible to everybody at some point in time, during our time. But best students to the also the economic policy of the Togba again, the education policy. The University of Liberia was now opening up to accept all students from England. So we attended the entrance and then made a pass. By the way, mathematics was my greatest strength. Even coming from the high school, I somehow managed to practice for that test. Read the algebra book, and can you imagine when I came for the result, we could receive the result in the one of the buildings on campus, everybody would jam up, and when I came to my English school, I was a little bit behind the group, the crowd. And they called my name, and then I was making my way through that crowd and a little bit tiny. But we were very surprised to say, oh, I was number 2 man in mathematics, the test. And I said, wow, that's coming from over there, so I was number 2. So I have a University of Liberia awarded a scholarship, and to maintain that too, they have to maintain the grade point average greater than grade point something. So we're on part of that. And upon graduation now, I was in the Department of Physics, and Mathematics, and then to apply to school. All of those things you have to do it yourself. Self-fetching. So I applied to school in the great United States, and one of the schools, University of California, Los Angeles, for reading about the different school, the weather pattern was like what we have here, at least to some extent. So that's one of my motivating factors. When you read about the other places of the snow, the cold, and so forth. So for California weather, especially Los Angeles, it was very appealing to me. So I applied to that school, through some of the international tests, which is called the GRE, Graduate Record Examination. Also the subject test in physics, the pass was adequate to make out to be admitted to that school. And of course, Dr. Lawrence Zumo here, we had to soak it up in the town we spent some time together. Ended up with split, and I continued with the study at that grade school. And then I joined the research group. We had several research groups, all in physics, and then I went to one of them first. Then we got up and down. I was a little bit rejected by that group because they didn't have time to do it wasn't like contact on myself. But I went to another group and they were very receptive. And then he asked me, oh, have you passed the test that they gave in the school? I said, yes, I passed it to that level. So he went up there, the next 5 minutes he came down. I said, okay, welcome. So, and his group was this group of conducting experiments around America and also Europe. And I was in nuclear physics, so I was the physics of nuclear. And can you imagine how long I had to live? So from that point now, we as one of the gentlemen was saying that he had to come back to help the country, and so somebody started to do that in some cases, but we have to make a tough choice to come back to be here. Liberia, especially, is a war-torn country. It needs a reconstruction. It has a real degree of ups and downs, but nevertheless, we should be able to make a better difference. And as you were saying, it is we, the people of this country, have to do the job. My support is being otherwise twisted in some form, thinking that we should depend on some kind of out there. So we will get there one day. So currently we are in education, and to a greater extent is one of the aspects that we observe here that we have been torn apart. Educationally, our country is seriously behind because the sort of thing that we observe in our system is quite important, and so we have to find ways to strengthen the system, because we who dealing with the young people who follow through the high school and so forth, take this thing that we call the watch nowadays, and then enter the college. They come there severely blind. We have to, first of all, try to find ways to alleviate some of that load so we can make it, and then bring them out to some standard, college level standard, and then we can continue the teaching. So we have to devise all these mechanisms. Of course, we are in the science. We've got issues of our laboratory too. The science is more stronger when you have the labs. But sometimes just studying the theory, and you are disconnected from the other aspect, you don't get to know that it is from that laboratory and those science stuff we should learn how to make the computers, to make it to work, all these devices we are playing with nowadays. Powerful. So those electronic equipment and so forth. So we have to get there to study that laboratory, to study the sciences, mathematics. So at some point I was Vice President for Academic Affairs at the University of Liberia, and currently we are still attached to the physics department there. We do some teaching the senior level courses, before we also do first level courses. So we want to encourage most of our young people to continue to strive, because it is from doing that going to make you successful. There are going to be some failures, but you cannot be successful until you fail at some point. So you have to overcome it and make the progress. So that's why when our mother there, Mother Ruth, tries on the board that she's a child who education specialist, and they send my back to one of my teachers, who used to teach mathematics then, and then the grouping symbols we have in math, brackets and parentheses. So I said, that's how bracket open, bracket closing. Yeah, so, and there's a more powerful tool, more grouping symbols, because you know how to group things, you can then move forward from there. So, I'm happy to know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. We'll come back several times. It's an honor and a pleasure. We have joining us today, Dr. Tiawan Gongloe, a long-time friend of mine, and our mentor, Dr. Tipoteh. So they are going to join us to do a few words of wisdom and inspiration.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I guess well, good evening, my people. And where is Madam? Where are you doing?
He's in the killer, doing a mother's grave.
Well, I didn't hear other people, but I got here someone, good friend, that was leaving.
Yeah.
He actually entered the University of Liberia together in 1977.
Wow.
He was in physics, I was in business college. We are living the future that we were striving for doing. I'm not sure whether that's how we expected the future. But we are living our future right now. And if we don't like it, we have to do something about it to make it a better future. Or at least to lay the foundation for a better future. Okay, so I'm a lawyer. For those who don't know, I'm a lawyer. I have I studied economics, and then I went to law. I taught at the University of Liberia, and I was just in the Silicon. And then I taught economics. So I like to call Greek names sometimes. Oh, I taught Brown, I taught Justice Janet, Justice Kaba. I need to elevate myself. When you call big names, you have to. The one of people have a power with that. If you see an elder that is not heavy, I mean, you cannot respect that. And have big strong on himself. So I like to call him big names and say, oh, but there is an important man. I teach at the law school as well. teach human rights law, criminal law, criminal procedure law. My law practice has been committed largely to helping people speak their mind to government. So I represented journalists, human rights advocates, all of that. So until I fell in trouble with the government in 2002. I was severely tortured. After that, I went into exile. And then my children left the country. And in election time, I came back. And I campaigned for president. So after elections, I was appointed Solicitor General. And actually, I didn't know that I was going to work in the justice system because in exile, I was a research fellow at Harvard. And I actually did an independent study on rebuilding the justice system. So I didn't even know that I was doing some of the things I studied about was the weakness of prosecution and all of that. So one achievement at Justice Ministry was that the county attorneys I met were not law school graduates. Some of them were not even high school graduates. They had no training in law in the 15 counties. So one day, one came to me and said, "You want to train your county attorney?" I said, "I don't have trainable county attorneys." So thinking out of the box, I said, "All right, give me the money you want to train with. Let me hire real lawyers on a part-time basis to be part-time prosecutors. $800 apiece. I got 12 lawyers, and then later on 15 lawyers. After 18 months, I convinced the government to take the program over. We were able then to recruit law school graduates as county attorneys in Liberia for the first time since 1847.
Wow.
Now for the first time, because change is brought by agents of change. Now these agents of the people who were there were not agents of change at all for strengthening the rule of law. In my view, government has been violating the rights of people because there are people who don't know law, putting people in jail. On what basis? I used to have calls from all the county attorneys who were not law school graduates. The police commander in this country doesn't respect me. The immigration commander does not respect me. And I knew the answer. I said, knowledge is power. The police commander and the immigration went to police academy and they learned something. Now when you are telling them to charge a crime, maybe they argue with you because they are not sure whether you know what you're doing. Because one of the county attorneys, for example, was a clerk of a superintendent office in one of the counties. The other one was a court lawyer. All of them became county attorneys through their affiliation with the different warring factions. And that's how they got it. But the good news is I saw that as a point and I transformed it. So I can always boast of that. This is 1847. I've worked law school graduates, all of the county attorneys, all the counties as county attorneys. And the thing about good change is that it's difficult to reverse it. It remains that way today.
Yes.
One of the county attorneys is still there from local county. He told me, "You want to send me the bush?" He said, "SG, I can only spend 12 months." I said, "I agree." But since he's been there for more than 12 years, and he's doing very well.
Wow.
So that, and then I went to the Ministry of Labor, worked there. I believe in liberalization. Most of our jobs have been taken away by other people, especially accounting. But when you're accounting, most of our colleges are graduating accounting more than any other. We allow Indian accounting to become how we going to get a job. So I knew, I said, I would do something. I increased the work permit fees for non-Liberians from $400 to $1,000. Immediately, there was a reduction on the foreign workforce because we have 10 non-Liberian employed this year. You pay $10,000 this year. Next year, you're going to pay another $10,000.
Yeah.
So it was meant not to raise money, but to make it a disincentive to take our jobs away. But some employers still want to bring their people, so they pay for it. The first year I introduced it, the Ministry of Labor made $6 million. The Ministry of Labor alone made more than $300,000 a year. So the government put a banking money. Good news is that, okay, you want our job, you pay for it. If I stay at Ministry of Labor, I intended to add $250 every year until we reduce the amount of foreign employees substantially. So that worked well. The question is, you come, you see a situation, so what do you do to transform it? The next thing I did was, my predecessor, Kuku, that started drafting a new labor law. I continued with a labor consulting from ILO. So we finished it and sent it to the president, we sent it to the legislature. It was based on the ILO concept of decent work. So, for example, that labor, one of the achievements in that labor law is that before it was illegal to strike. The Decent Work Act of 2015 that I submitted to the president has it that workers have a right to strike. It's one of the, just strike is the only tool that workers have to put pressure on management. So, in the new labor law, Decent Work Act, workers have a right to strike. You also have maternity leave of 3 months for female employees, and then paternity leave for 5 days to take care of your, if you're married and your wife delivers, you can spend 5 days with your wife for a company. Dismiss you as a right of a real employee. And then, so there are many things under that. The thing is, you know how long you stay in a big job. When you go there to serve, to do public service, there's a place to serve. And I have this boatman carrying around because many people take government jobs and they use it as an opportunity to steal. And stealing has kept our country behind. So I usually say government is a place to serve, not to steal. We need to use to sweep corruption from government. That's the intention. Well, I can't say more. I just want to say I'm happy to be here. Dr. Tipoteh is an inspiration. He inspires all of us. You know, when you study about this man, and he doesn't want me to he said, talk about yourself. I'm sure that what he's saying right now. But the man got PhD. That the first person to get a big degree PhD in economics. People are what we World Bank or any company in America, you decide to come here to serve this country. In the late 1960s, early 1970s, top 20 big shots that even the former vice president was a student in Quebec at the University of Liberia. So, well, it's so simple, and he taught us to be simple. He taught us not to be concerned about what we wear and how we look, but what comes from the mind, how to think to improve society. And that is what I keep saying. Some of us went into government, they were in the Bobuja, Tipoteh, Bobuja teaching, taught us for service to humanity and improving the life of the masses. And now you think about yourself so much. So, and that's the shift that needs to happen in today's government. For people to think more about the people than think about themselves. So I want to thank Dr. Zumo for this evening. I don't see him around, but Dr. Zumo himself. I've been to his own and his wife yesterday to cover a book. Both of them from humble background and things they've gone to America. I've been to his clinic in Silver Spring, where he treated me free of charge. And now I see him put this is my first time here, and he put his facility here. I said, neurologist, he felt I need to go to my country and provide service that is not being provided anywhere in our medical system. So he saw something to do as a Liberian, and I'm very proud of him. I'm proud that he's my friend. Two of us come from an organization called YCS from Catholic school. I was in St. Mary's on Carolina. And the motto of YCS is see, judge, and act. And that's exactly what he did. As a neurologist, we saw that there was no facility in Liberia to take care of people who have epilepsies and all of that. And he said to himself, so what can I do about it? And then he acted. This is a clear manifestation of the YCS model. See, George and I.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm proud to
Thanks so much for this now occasion. We have the veteran, Dr. Tipoteh, who is known for the introduction. He has been a discouraging speaker for us for many, many years, good decades. Many decades. From Susuku days.
As I understand, you are from Grand Bassa County, County of Oregon. I would say, big win. I went there was a United Nations Commission representative here. They go to Grand Bassa County. And he said to me, I know you speak these languages, and I want to be welcomed very well in Grand Bassa County. So tell me how I can. I said, when you go there, say, big win. That means, but what you should not forget to say is, after the first role, I mean, thank God.
Yeah.
But you should say, bum, bum. Then he said to me, that sounds like a horn. Will I be driving a car? I said, it is a horn. And it's a horn of God. People blowing and said, my son, one of my sons is coming here. So embrace my son God. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. And, but Bassa is a great language, but it's not the main language spoken by the people of Liberia. The main language, who can answer the question? What's the main number one language spoken by people of Liberia? What? Yeah. All right. Katuae. Kukumenjo. Ngala koya. Ngala koka. That's for all of you. Hello. God bless you. How are you doing? My life, and I would say our lives, those of us who work together, is about solving problems. The biggest, and I think 1 year ago, thank God,
Yeah. I don't know.
The number one problem in this country is something called poverty. Almost everybody is having to live on less than $300 Liberian a day. Less than $300 Liberian a day. Now, while they are living on $300 Liberian a day, there are people who call themselves representatives, senators. They're living on at least $150,000 Liberian a day. And their friends in Congress alone, not talking about the bottom line, but friends in the commercial sector, I won't call one nationality different, you know that. They are having 300 million Liberian dollars a day. So I'm watching your faces there. It seems that all of you don't know this.
No.
But this country is poor. But why is this the most important problem? It's the most important problem because it has led to violence and coup d'etat, civil war. You know, our brother here, Councilor Gongloe mentioned Charles Taylor. Oh, this government no use. They poor people here in the country, let me try to do better. When they come, they got nothing better because they don't have a record of doing anything better. So, and people jumping behind them, oh, you have a concussion, hard time, so forth.
And what it leads to, the government was overthrown, not by rule of law. But today now, because of the experience, over 300,000 persons died. Over 300 people died. Huh? Over 300,000 people died in this country during the Civil War. From 1989 December to 2003. Then of course it went to later on, quite it was to 78. Then it went to 2003. But over 300,000 persons there. And the infrastructure, that means the road, but the worst of all, even the societal lands, especially in local, will just knock all over the place. And the economy of Liberia, you see, the finance minister Samuel Tway just got $106 million United States from the World Bank. And now he's signing it. He said, oh, but you know, here now, I cannot walk. But somebody come and give me a hat, shiny hat, eyeglasses, so forth. And they say, oh, you see people that got a shiny hat, the eyeglasses, so things are getting better. Well, I cannot walk. You see, this is the economy now. So we are still worse off than we were before the war. That's why I just wrote something, you know, and they said, oh, I said, well, you know, the World Bank, by God's help, I used to be chairperson of the World Bank, of the African governors in the World Bank and International Monetary Fund. And what they're interested in is just profit. So I can give Dr. Vito $1 million, but I will get from him 10. So people say, oh, well, I'm going to give Dr. Vito $1 million, they're good people, but I got from him 10 million. I got from him 10 million. And how do they get it? Because they are profit making, they're money driven, they want profits. It's a profit making organization. The World Bank, IMF, International Monetary, they're not there for free. They're profit making. So many of you, as you're watching the face again, you're not aware of it. You see, so why am I standing here? Why did Pastor Gongloe stand here to talk about this? So it's because the way to make Liberia better now, and the Chinese president and Secretary General of the Communist Party of China, they just having the 20th National Party Congress. The 20th. You know what he said? President Xi Jinping of China. The way he said, they will have to make the living conditions of people better. Now the people of Liberia say that, well, all right, we're suffering, but we don't want any more war. We don't want any more war. We want peace. That's why you travel around. If any of you can find, in any country now you get what big 100% they say they want war, then you can take a knife and stick me up here. People want peace. But the big mistake being made now, Dr. Zumo, is that people are thinking that war, peace is when you don't find shooting going around. But if I cross your mind today, do you have peace of mind? Okay, I see you shaking. What's your name? What's your name? After what? After what? How do you spell it? G-L-L? What Liberian language you speak? Basel? So, that Africa, when you speak Basel, they say, you know, you heard what you said. What was your answer to what I said? Huh? What was your answer? You remember the answer? You can, I'm going to teach you now. Okay. You know the answer he said? The question I asked you and I asked you to talk and answer. You see, we have that if I cross the mind, will you be happy? So, peace doesn't come when there is no fighting. Because if I cross your mind, it's not fighting, I'm not taking gun, but you'll not be happy with it. You'll have any peace. So peace comes when there's something called justice. When you treat the other people fairly, As the council said, well, you're not for yourself, but you're for other people. Huh? That's why we founded in 1973 what you call the Movement for Justice in Africa, MOJA. But before that, we founded an organization called Susuku. Yeah? You can't go to somebody and say, well, let's go around and talk about justice, freedom, and people don't have food to eat. They don't have land. The caterpillar come in, the big thing cutting the trees down, taking the log, getting all over the country. So we said, let's try to attend to that first. The people have to have land, they have to have food to eat. And Susuku work, you know, in the poorest part of the country, got land there, so forth. You understand? Then we found and said, oh, but the people are still getting poorer is because the people, there's some people called powers that be, the people who are quote unquote elected. I say quote unquote, you're talking about parentheses. You know, my best axiom in mathematics, you talk mathematics, is called the axiom of transitivity, the big word. I know Councillor Gongloe very well. Councillor Gongloe knows Dr. Zumo very well. Therefore, I know Dr. Zumo very well. That's the axiom of transitivity. And you organize, and you don't wait to say, oh, I know the man well. I don't remember him. Why you bring me here for? Yeah? No, I know you well, you know him well, therefore I know him well. Because that's how you organize. So let me end now by saying that the problem, I'll say the problem. But how do you solve this problem? You solve the problem by gun? No. No. Huh? Anybody who thinks that you get gun, let go outside and shoot, it will work, then you come, let me know. Come please. I'm here, you let me know. You will not be insulting me at all. But it's not possible. So you have to solve it without guns. It's what we call consciousness raising or awareness raising. So we see some, that's why Councillor Gongloe as lawyer, and here now as a family leader who went to the Supreme Court of Liberia over 2 years ago. Why did we go there? On the most important problem. Well, if I'm a bad person and you're a good person, will I push for you to be elected? No, talk to people here. No. I don't see anybody here this one. I will not push for you. Now, who is supervising the elections of our country? There's something called the National Election Commission, right? No? National Election Commission. I put all 11 things that they're doing wrong. And we were the only ones who want the Supreme Court. Why we want the Supreme Court? Because we say, if the Timothy is a bad person, and God is a good person, then Timothy now wants God to be elected. So we have to do something to get a good electoral system, a good way of electing people. Dr. Zumo, if I were to put your house on fire, will I put the fire out?
No.
I'm not put the fire out.
No way.
Huh? I'm not put the fire out. You see now how someone with no big book, but we're not even getting the sense of the people on the other side. The other side will tell you that. Yeah? We're just like them, and some of us, like myself, will be a biased, thinking that the people who set our house called Liberia on fire will put the fire out. It's not possible. So the first thing I said to tell Dr. Zumo, thank you, I said, thank you because you're in the community. Huh? The community wants to put the fire out. The people who say they want to be elected, they don't want to put the fire out. But look, I just mentioned one point about the election people. Huh? 1 point. 183,712 United States dollars contract was given by the head of the election commission to her brother. Is that good or bad?
Terrible.
That's bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't even consult what we call, it's an integrity institution called the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, PPCC. They didn't know. And even that is make the same with the biometric, they say they want to put things in the computer, so forth, you go to vote, so forth. They changed the census date now from October 24th to November 22nd. They changed it. And I wrote over, I said, You will not have a good censor. Not a good censor. In fact, there are $300,000 US case against the head of the census people. They got him sick now, saying the India came back, he stay sick. You see? So these things you need to know about it. The reason why you need to know about it is because you have to know how to put the fire on the house called Liberia out. And what we're doing here today, we thank Dr. Zumo for calling us here today, is we got in our class, you have church service. You know, because what we got in our here, who gave it to us? God gave it to us. Yeah? So we got here, we're sharing it. And I'm sharing it in a way that I didn't cost you money. If I tell you now, the respect I show you, I said, please get up because there will be holes in it, you'll fall down. You will get up. But of course you might not have that. I'll tell you a story. I don't think you're going to talk now, so you can shake your head. Look, that's my man, you're playing with phone. You're not even listening. You're playing with phone. That's part of the problem with that. That's how I am. You see, you're not listening, then you go out there and say, well, we got this problem. But you're not listening to tell me where I'm right or wrong. You're playing with your phone. You see what I'm saying? I don't know who I am, so that's the way I am. I am customer, I'll tell you. So now, the way to start is that we share our knowledge. We share our knowledge so that when you get to know who is putting the house on fire, then you will say, you will know what to do. And you have to do it where? Through the rule of law. Through the rule of law. Somebody said, why you know what rule of law? You go to the courthouse, the Supreme Court, they corrupt everything there. I said, well, this is true. But how will you change it? You go to the Supreme Court. But we went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, they think too hard, we're not winning, but we have won the case. Where we win it? In the court of public opinion. The journalists came from the Supreme Court. They said, you know what happened in the Supreme Court today? This is what Congress said, this white, this so forth, this one, and the newspaper people there. And when hundreds of thousands of people around the world, they know about it. Say, oh, the feeling is the people's court. So we won that. That's why now, to solve the problem, you have to come to the community. You have to come to the community. And let me end with a surprise for you. And you answer the question correctly, that the widest spoken Liberian language here is Pele. I will sing a song in Pele, but I will do a shortcut in Pele. And what the song means, you will know. Let me speak so Pele to you and see what it means. Panga mene na boya. Panga mene na boya. I'm not. Who understand Panga mene na boya? Panga mene, respond to me. I say Panga mene na boya. I want to go and then what I said, Panga mene na boya, what do you do? Yeah, boy, you coming? Okay, sit down. She passed it. Okay, now this one said, come, let's listen to how God moves. When God moves, there's always peace. Does God cross your mind? No. God cross your mind. I want God here to cross your mind. When cross your mind, you know, God is treating everybody fairly. So they're not going to continue everybody fairly trouble. Working on other people now, they say the trouble. So, come listen. Pangamena boya belingala tike. Pangamena boya belingala tike. Pangamena boya belingala tike. Atike, atike, atike. Kunanga tahasu, kunanga tasu, kunanga tasu. Blasam mene falena, kunanga tahasu, kunanga tasu, blasam mene falena.
Thank you so much for the Dr. rendition. It's the way back. I don't know how to say it, but we are so happy, delighted, the time is spent, but few questions, and we just ask, this way, the distinguished panel, please ask questions we want to ask questions, please. And forward.
But may I ask you, if anybody thinks we said something wrong, you want to criticism. It's a core criticism. You come up and say, I think you're wrong, or I didn't understand what you said well. Please. And when you ask questions, you can do that too. Huh? We're not get back to you. I know some of you can speak for themselves, but you will not get back.
Any questions, please? Any clarifications?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question. Sorry, my name is Zumo, but you. Even though I was one of the speakers, I'd like to ask. I want to know who took the picture with
Ask some question.
So while we're going to the question,
they pick a number important.
Yeah. So the question is, Dr. Tipoteh.
Oh, you want to ask them for one?
No, I want to ask you. We have a society where the young folks are not willing to listen to the old society, and you talk about the problem in yourself. We live in a society where everybody thinks that we don't have to listen to anybody. We just do our own setting. How do we change the kind of society?
Thank you very much. First thing is that everybody doesn't think the same. So what you're saying is not correct. Every young person loves to sing. And fortunately, there are some young people. Council, how much are young man? I'm 81. I'm over 30 years old. Okay. So now, so we want to get that correct. So when we make a statement, we have to be, especially with pastors or imam, we have to be very careful to make a statement. Not everybody, but even if we saw that many people are doing the way to solve the problem is now, like I told God, they respect and show you, I'm not calling you imam, but if I told you, I say, well, please get up, because the chair you sit in will break some. You will get up. But of course, you will not get up. So we have to learn how to communicate. We have to learn how to get to our people. Why do you think I'm singing? So some people don't want to hear talk, but they're singing. I look at our sister here, maybe she's more interested in the singing than the talking. You know, so maybe. I don't know. But we have to be able to communicate. We have to be able to raise awareness. This is the way forward. You raise awareness to make Liberia better. For all, not just for myself, but for all. That's the way to do. So let me end by saying this. And before Dr. Sawyer died, I never saw you know he passed away. We were hundreds. And he said, well, look, you know, we have to learn to take meaning. For instance, if you myself now, no, not you because I'm very easy, but let's but don't myself now. We have problems. So we have problems. Something I say you disagree with, or something I do, or something we have problems. But I cannot come and say it's not correct for me to say, oh, Togba Nah Gongloe, one problem. No, it's not the way. You know, if there are 100 problems between us, there must be something I have done wrong. Why is it? Because we know each other. There must have been something I've done wrong. Now, if I take the blame for what I've done wrong and correct it, it would be easier to solve the problem. Would it be easier? No, I'm asking you now. It would be easier to solve the problem. So that's the way to work. I have to take responsibility. Huh? Yeah, I did this. You know, I cost Congo man. Let me just a minute. I said, but you don't like to eat Mama, but you like to eat GB. So let's go eat GB. Then we eat the GB. When you look, you want to eat Mama. When you look, you want to play football. When you look, you want to play. You see, that's how you solve the problem. That I'm 81 years of age, telling you I worked for over 50 years. That's how we solve problems. And that's how we are solving problems here. That's how he's here. You know, some time ago, you couldn't come out like this to talk. When I get in the morning, we found one security man here, only. He got tortured. You know why being tortured? They tried to kill him. They tried to kill me as well. Here and abroad. You know, the best work to do is to work with the community, with the poor people. But it's the most dangerous work to do. So, but we got good example for us. And God only child came. He said, Mandela on earth, we see Jesus, we saw Mandela. What did Mandela say to the court before he died? Let me end with this. He said, my Lord, if need be, I'm prepared to die for the cause. Because I am fighting for the rights of white people, I'm fighting for the rights of black people. But if need be, my Lord, I'm prepared to die. That's what the judge said. And this is what we're working on, and it succeeded. I got to get evidence like that, but I'll talk about evidence whatever. You know that nearly all of the members of the legislature, for the 52nd, 53rd legislature, who wanted to be re-elected, despite the fact that we got a bad electoral system, they were not re-elected. You know that? They were not re-elected. Why were they not re-elected? Because of what we do. And the people say, oh, you got that, but you forgot about us. I didn't know about that because the information was passing on. This is simple.
I wanted you to clarify something you said today. When you're trying to use God as an example, if to make a change, getting the leaders to get our people who will decide anything, how do we change the system? They had something from the PRC Foundation where we talk about choosing a right of solution, and then talk about war council. The system like this.
The problem is how do you like good people? Because when you're good people, you can have good action taken. And to elect good people, like a man from a child shop, say what? Somebody can give you rice and things, then jump behind them. They say, oh, we miss it. Oh. You see, you got to look at somebody with good record. Oh, he's got a good record. Somebody not for himself or herself, but for other people. That's a person of good record. And not even they want to be elected. Well, being elected, say, well, you see they're working for other people. That's the person of good record. Now, so how we change it? How we get the election commission chairperson, next chairperson there to be removed and the other people removed? They got about 3 questions in order to record on them, but we'll just skip for one. Where they had which is 183,712. You see, I made it 1 year, so I'm trying to bluff here now. I know the figure. I know the figure. $183,712 United States dollars. And the legislature get $150,000 Liberian dollars a day. I put in Liberian dollars because some people they say, oh, you mean I'm getting less than $300 Liberian dollars a day? And that person I put there is getting $150,000 Liberian dollars a day. You know, they might, I used to put it in United States dollars, but you know, they didn't look that wide. They didn't look that wide. You see? So your problem is how to solve the problem. So we have to get good people in the election. How do we get good people? We get good people by raising awareness. You see, so I talk to you now, and you say, oh, well, when you talk, let me work with Councilor Gongloe, Tipoteh Dr. Zumo, you know, let me work with them, you know, because you see, that's the way it works. And we work with them. Now, the powers that be, they can come and say, we don't want to change. Because the latest appointments, you know, is not based, like the governor of the Central Bank of Liberia has passed information out to get you stirred up so you can do certain things to the rule of law. That's the purpose of mine. So what did the governor of the Central Bank say? We knew his father very well. We knew his father very well. He worked for Suzuku. You know, from Nigeria. But he said, I was not placed here as governor of the Central Bank because of what I know, what I can do. But because the people from my county voted for the president. That's what he said. Are you aware? You don't know if you're aware. You're not aware. It was published in the newspaper. But it doesn't make you stupid. It's just you didn't get information. You're not a stupid person from what you are known now. You're not a stupid person when you didn't get information. Who has the information? We have the information. If we don't pass it on, then we are to blame. So that's what we're doing here now. They called me also, and I told them, I said, why you didn't tell me so cool? You see, so we are prepared. Huh? Yeah? So he said, in 1 minute, another he said, oh, you know, that Dr. Zumo happened. I said, well, my wife is expecting me, so I adopt it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is really important. That's how decisions are made, that's how changes happen. And remember, nearly all of the legislators that were put in the 52nd they're not going to, they didn't go back. Not to say they're not going to go back, they didn't go back. And they did the 1, 2, 1, the candidates wanted because of something called raising awareness. And do you have to know book to raise awareness? No, you have to have information.
Thank you so much, thanks so much. We have another question before we close.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear a woman talking, because you know, where will men be without women? Nowhere. Yeah.
My question, I want to you, especially my practice I said my question is going to answer yeah, you are practicing a lot of people. My question is, a lot of practice that you have done.
Yeah, so
okay, I'm Kumasa really. My question is going to answer the community. As you said, you have made a lot of effort in the my question is, in your case at Liberia, like poor do not have no justice. And if you do not have money, and you do not have justice. So I want to ask, what are some of the mechanisms or some of the practices that are taken to help
have the justice for those people who are aggrieved.
So let me, let me speak about myself. I have taken a lot of cases of people who have no money. They have a good case if you don't have money at all. Everybody else will help you. The white people come and call them poor Bodo loan. I've done a lot of poor Bodo loan and people that didn't need to. There are some later ones I can mention. You remember the young people of 2013? So the two computers were arrested a child for fighting alcohol. They were in jail for some time, 1 year. They didn't have money to arrest them. Full of child. Yeah, there was some remind the rest of the same after another student. I wanted to represent them. So you represent some poor money, but then God is just. You can send some rich people away, some kind of company or some rich person, and they pay you, sometimes they pay you much better than if you are in charge of most. So that's how we survive. And then our friend at the Bar Association, the bar has the legal aid program. And the United States Agency for International Development was looking at the bar. While I was president of the bar, it was program. But we work out in the bar to keep that program going. So up to now, even though I'm not president of the bar, we have a legal aid program in 5 countries in Liberia where people don't have money and help. So there is assistance that is available. I'm not able to learn now, so part of our people is something that some people do. So that's a way to provide access to justice for people so that if you don't have money, you can still have child.
Thanks so much, Councilor. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much. Do I have any last question?
I'm so glad to see the women though. Very
I'm sorry. I want to ask our dad to explain the meaning of the song dressing.
What are you going to say? Don't laugh. What are you going to say? No, basta. No, English is not a language. You speak faster. So in Pele, what it says that I was talking to our sister, what's the name again? No, not again, but I never asked you your name before. What's the name? What? Kavir. All right. Come and listen to what I have to say about how God moves.
When you see God moving, there's always peace. Because God does not pick and choose. Picking and choosing means there is no justice for the poor man or the poor woman. Councilor Gongloe has answered that question. So now, but and some people don't know too much. They talk, and they go in circles to let us see. But that's the meaning. Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
So when you see God moving, there's peace. Why is it God? If people don't treat you badly, you'll be back to them. Talk now. You'll be back to them. Don't laugh. Don't work in here. Will you be back to them? Okay, you're not be back to them. So God then doesn't take the truth. God, Ngala, is God in Tele. Gilbo in Basa. Yeah? Abi in Ma. Ra in Dam. Yeah? Then of course you got Kamba, Jai, that people call Ba, Jai. You see, so some of these things we learn and we try to pass it on. So, all right. Zumo,
Thank you so much, we are more than honored to have the president of the Gongloe, the Gabido, and the guests who join us. I hope we didn't disappoint you. And we're going to wrap this up now. We have refreshment, served, yeah. And I know it's a little dark. We don't have the benefit of electricity yet in Liberia as we will hope. So we hope when we put the commercial oil and some change, we'll get it better. So the time is fast spent. We'll bring this one in, and we will have this on tape, and I will kind of email it to everybody so we can have it. And possibly the young people, and let us begin a discourse, and begin to talk and let us share our experiences. And they will share their experiences to be along both sides. We want to say why they doing what they're doing, and we tell them how we got to where we are today. So for everybody,
just one sentence. I know Councilor Gongloe was being embarrassed by it, but the woman who asked him a question about poor people in justice is that Councilor Gongloe did work for me in the court, the Supreme Court. In my judgment, the work he did is worth about $30 million. And he didn't ask for 1 cent.
congratulations.
You didn't ask me to see that you see. I will stop you before I know you're being embarrassed.
Okay.
You didn't ask me for 1 cent.
We recognize his efforts and work with the first Liberians to leave this country as a group in 1979. Togba Nah Gongloe, and the other guy from Lofa, and Brother Joseph. We drove by land from here to Freetown in 1979 to represent Liberia among all the African countries. So we've come a long way. Thank you very much for coming. Thanks for all the guests. I hope we pass the knowledge on to you guys. Thanks so much for everybody. Thanks for coming. Thank you.